Welcome. We've been fitness coaches for years, 15 years to be precise. And this video today is about the roots, sharing some of our values, how we got to where we got today, and we hope that it will be insightful for you. What is today's episode about?
It's about you.
Today's episode is about getting to know me.
So, what were you like growing up?
Oh, what was I like growing up? I was always very sporty. Football was just life. It was football training on a Tuesday, football training on a Thursday, football training sometimes Saturday morning, and Sunday, it was Sunday league, so Sunday was football day. My father was our manager for many years. I always used to have to get there early to help him put the net up. We had to get the tape and put the net up, hook it on the hooks. And I always used to moan, like, why do we have to set it up? Well, that's because we have to. And then we used to have to pack it all away, and I used to think, oh, I'm starving, or it's cold. But that was how it was. And cross country, I remember going to another local school for cross country, doing me running, school PE, hockey. When I wasn't trying to trip people up with the hockey stick, because it was just too tempting all the time, we actually had, I suppose I noticed that there was an element, if I say so myself, athleticism. Was always good at lateral movements, moving quick in a short space of time, and agility. Could always change direction quickly. I think it's something that was probably innate. I've always really had it.
Were there early signs that led you to who you are now within sport, leadership, resilience?
I think that, without going too deep, I was always brought up around the values of work hard, do good in school, get a good job, and work that job for many, many years. But it wasn't until, as I grew older, that I realised that, is it called a yellow brick road? It was that kind of like perfect existence. It seemed, not right for me. Being an accountant for 7 years, I think I was 2 years into being an accountant, and I realised that it actually wasn't really my path. I didn't enjoy it, but I stuck it out for another 5 years because I felt like I'd be letting down other people, including my parents, that thought that I had it all figured out. And then when I met Jordan, it was quite evident that we needed to explore our personal training. So that was when really Body by JR formed, and that was the next step. Early signs, I guess I kind of grew into becoming a coach.
What's one early experience that shaped your outlook on health or life?
My outlook on health and life, when was that formative? I went to a school in Basildon, in junior school. I went to a school in Benfleet as my secondary school. So what happened is at that time, 11 years of age, I think it's 11 you go up to secondary school, isn't it? And I was carrying a little bit of like, you could call it puppy fat, before you stretched out and grew, it was kind of just on my physique. And I guess my parents couldn't say no to me when I wanted things. Vividly remember that 6 weeks holiday before starting secondary school, I said to myself, you've got a new school, you don't know anyone, you've only got one chance to make a first impression. Even as an 11-year-old, I thought, looking back now, I'm thinking, why did I even do that? But I lost a lot of weight before starting my secondary school. They have coincided with growing and developing as an adolescent. But I just remember starting the school not knowing anyone. So I guess I thought that maybe I should lose some weight for a fresh start. So that was quite formative, and I never have struggled with weight since, really, but then I've always been active since then. So
when did fitness stop being just about how you looked and become about who you wanted to be?
How I performed versus how I looked is probably the next part of my journey that started from around the age of 30. I'm 36 now. Before the age of 30, Jordan and I spent a lot of our 20s focused on competing in fitness modelling shows, and a lot of our self-worth was based on how we looked, and we would always be making decisions on our diet and training based on how it would affect the way we looked. And every time we went on holiday, it would prep for holiday, prep for shows, prep for this, prep for that, living out of Tupperware boxes. And that was just the first part of the journey. That I suppose when we set up Body by JR Gym, it was set up around like this hybrid, functional training facility that I'd seen coming into the market. And I suppose it saved me really, because I was very much a bodybuilder. I guess I just saw this new style of training, this hybrid kind of training. We've got the sled track, which our whole gym was kind of centered around this sled track. And then it started to be like, oh, let's see how well the body can actually perform. And I started getting interested in CrossFit and CrossFit training principles. And I started to really notice a change in my physique, that actually I started to look better than when I was dieting for a show. I started seeing how lean my body could get through manipulating training volume, along with foods that ordinarily I wouldn't have ate before. But I guess I started to learn firsthand that it is ultimately down to calorie consumption versus the training volume and the program that you're actually following. But then when we set up the gym, it was such a time vampire that I fell into the trap personally of just not managing my time really well and just focusing on growing the thing and being there all hours. And I just started eating rubbish. And there was a time where we was going through it, then out the other side from like the 2020, we all know what happened then. Got fit again, lost lots of body fat, and we adapted. So I guess from that stage, and then certainly having children has really impacted the way that I see fitness and health. And ultimately, sometimes you just don't care what other people think anymore. So,
what's been your biggest personal turning point in life or coaching?
I would definitely say 2025 has been the toughest one to date. There's been some big events. I think just generally the kill your clone attitude that I had as a gym operator, owner, you just bear that responsibility of growing that thing and taking, hiring your first employee, that you really felt that you were, given a chance to, and God had handed you someone that you thought was really, really like the best that you'd found. And then putting your trust into someone, building someone, spending every day with someone, and then for them to turn out not to be as you expected is just really upsetting, because you just get burnt. You get burnt bad, and that is the risk of being the boss. That's the employer. That's the role as the employer. You take the burden. You give someone a job to help put food on their table, to pay their rent. And I think being a business owner gets a bad representation because people think that they're greedy, or they've got money, it doesn't matter to them. But actually, the rewards are given to the risk taker, because that's capitalism, right? That's just how life works. But then when you decide that wake up, kill it, drag it home, when that kind of is done for a period of time and probably not aligned with your true values, I think it just leads to burnout. And quite honestly, in a roundabout ways, I think that in 2025 had led me to a situation of burnout. And we decided that being gym owners no longer served us. So we, fortunately, where we owned the freehold of the premises, it was a social media post to put it up for sale, and it was sold within a matter of days. selling all the equipment, we was able to walk away with it with our head held high. And yeah, it's a process that took a couple of months, but within those couple of months, unfortunately my father passed away. So yeah, it was like a double whammy of emotion. One of which that was out of your choice, one that wasn't, you know, wasn't something that you could control, one that was you could control. So yeah, so since then, the last couple of months has been really just life admin really, and managing. Yeah, for anyone out there that's lost a loved one, you'll know that there's lots of stuff to sort, and if you're the only one physically and mentally able to do that admin, then that burden falls on your shoulders, and you do what you do through love and care, and it's not easy, but that really has been why this year has been a massive turning point. During that burnout that I spoke about, there's potentially a lot of people that I upset during that process. There's probably a lot of people that were part of my story that walked with me during that period that probably didn't know that I was going through those thoughts and emotions. And if there is anyone out there that's particularly upset or feel victimised by something I've said or something I've done, just know that it was something that I was struggling with. And although, you know, I don't like to live with regret, I just feel that sometimes people suffer in silence, but we're at the other side, and now we've got a really exciting next phase of our lives.
Going on to parenthood and balance, how has becoming a parent changed your perspective on health, performance and purpose?
Well, becoming a parent and my perspective of fitness, you just don't realise how important your role is until you're really doing it. Everything you say, every way that you act, they're just copying you, they're just modelling you, and they literally remember everything. So you have to watch what you say, watch what you do, because they are just sponges, and it's the most amazing job in the world. You know, it's the leadership as a parent is just it's learning every day, isn't it? My perspective of fitness and health since having children is, you know, it's only compounded because you realise the important role that you have in being a role model. It gives you purpose. Like my father installed being a winner in me. Like second was last. Like first is the only option. Like that was how I was brought up. And although I'd love to continue that legacy into my children, I also want to remind them that you can't win all the time. And realistically, winning is, you know, it comes at a cost. And if they're willing to accept the cost of being misjudged or being spoken about just because they want to win, that is ultimately the cost of wanting to be the best. Because you're going to get people that are going to criticise you, probably because they're jealous they're not at the top like you.
Why Mallorca? What does this move represent for us and the next chapter of Body by JR around freedom, lifestyle and alignment with our values?
Well, it's a place that's had a place in our hearts for 22 years. You've been travelling there. And for me, ever since the first year we met, we've been holidaying there, haven't we? Yeah. And we've never wanted to go anywhere else. It's a place that we call home from home. It's a place we feel safe. It's a place where we feel the children are safe. It's got great business opportunities. It's a very affluent area. A lot of people that live in other parts of England tend to travel to London for work because it's more opportunistic. Going to Mallorca and the part that we go to, I'm not going to tell you exactly where, it's just somewhere in the north. I don't tell people exactly where because I don't want to overrun with people. But it is a very affluent area, and the values are around hiking, swimming, cycling, running. It's very outdoors. Goes without saying, the weather's unreal. We've chosen to relocate there because it gives us the kind of lifestyle that we want. Our values for the children being bilingual and free, it just represents the next phase for us. And yes, we're only able to make this move because of the last 15 years and what we've been building to. And yeah, it represents freedom for us to explore exactly how we want to live our lives. Allows us to just be present with our children, which is something that we know and we see through our experience in coaching, that a lot of the people that we work with, especially in the South Essex area, we call it the rat race. It's the treadmill, isn't it? Where people, they work and they rush from here, there and everywhere. I call it this rat race, and I've just seen it time and time again. I will not be sucked into it because I just know that it's not a life that I want to lead.
Talking of brand values, what do you want people to feel when they think of Body by JR?
I want people to understand that when they're coaching, using our coaching services, they just know that if they've followed us for a long time, they know that we've walked through fire. They know that we've had our challenges, and firsthand, not just with fitness and health, but just with general life that throws at you. We've open-heartedly managed it. Only will they be getting fitness, health coaching. It's just life experience, just someone to just, bang heads together with. Someone that actually can give you coaching which far extends the realms of fitness and health, because I feel that people that do struggle with fitness and health, they struggle with time management, they struggle, financially, and they struggle to actually place value on doing the thing which makes them feel better. Look, from the outside looking in, if we're going through where you need help, you're not motivated to do X or Y because you're putting your attention over here, which is out of your control, or you're not managing your time well enough. So good coaching helps restructure your whole life, and it is absolutely game changing. You don't know what you don't know, and when someone's looking in from the outside, they can just, do you know what? I think this is affecting the way that why you're not getting results. And that's what I feel Body by JR offers.
What's something people wouldn't expect about you?
I am the skinniest runner you ever did see now. Well, no, actually, I'm not the skinniest, but
there's a lot skinnier runners than you.
I've gone through such a transformative, bodybuilding. I know it doesn't look like it on here, but I was massive. Like, my legs were the size of Jordan's waist at one point.
He's saying I've got a big waist.
And I've gone through such a change. I'm this skinny runner dude guy. But one thing you'd never expect from me is, not physically anymore, but emotionally, there are a lot of people, if they come up against me, they will probably not like it, because I'm stubborn as an old boot. I don't lose. I win at all costs. And people are probably logging off now. Oh, shut up, Ray. But I know I'm probably grieving a little bit from my dad still, but I was born to be a winner. Like, he installed that in me, and I'm going to carry that with me in my back pocket for the rest of my life. And only he gave me that. So if you didn't know already, I can be rude, I can be obnoxious, I'm as stubborn as an old boot, and I like to win.
What's been the hardest part about building the business?
Christ, where do I start? The hardest part has to be trusting. Trusting people, whether that be a client that, you know, in the consultation process, yeah, I'm willing to put a year of effort into this, and they put 3 weeks, and then you get the text, oh, I think I need to cancel. Like, trusting that I'm taking on the right clients to work with us, trusting that they're not gonna go back to the person they said they didn't want to be in the consultation, and they do it within a matter of weeks. Trusting staff members are going to do what they've, you know, promised to do or they've agreed to in team meetings. Trusting they're not going to, you know, smile in your face but stick their middle fingers up at you behind your back. And just trusting that your system that you've built, because when you build a business, you have a business because you have a system, right? If you're just a one man or woman band, you just provide a service to one person, you get paid, and then you move on to the next person, right? But when you have a business, you're not limited by time because you now start to scale. Business is about scaling. Businesses are obviously there to make profit. So businesses need to have a return on the investment of time. So that's why you take on staff members, because you can't deliver to everyone that you want to deliver to just with one pair of hands. You need to outsource, and that's what creates a business that becomes highly profitable. And because you've got that system, you're able to build what you want to build, but you need to be trusting. And I found it so hard. I found it so hard. And I think whether it be the way I led the team or whether it be a limited belief that I had, that trust was always very hard for me to have, which ultimately resulted in us, I guess, setting up and moving to Mallorca.
When we look back in 5 to 10 years, what do you hope people say about Body by JR?
I really hope that the members that we had during that period of rapid gym growth, the small group personal training model, that was really a model that I loved. But in 5 to 10 years time, I know that I'll look back and know that we helped so many people. In that 18, 19 month period, we must have had maybe a book of 600 clients in 18 months, which I know that we really impacted those 600 clients in that period. Obviously, we didn't have 600 members when we finished. What happens is you have members come on, you have members leave, you have new members arrive, you have members stay, members leave. But across the 18 months, we probably worked with about 600 people. And I know that 95% of those, we really impacted their lives for the better. They got to rub shoulder with us. They got the whisper in the ear in the corner of the gym, what's up today? Or, you know, you really could be doing better. You know, I'm driving accountability to help you show up here. And I just know that it was severely impactful, and I'll be grateful for that period. I won't be grateful for the fact that we sold the commercial property, and in 10 years time it's probably going to be worth double what we just sold it for. But that's just inflation, right? Just really excited about the next phase now, because not only have we sold our business, but we've sold our family homes, a home that we moved into 4 years ago. And we just felt like all this work, we'd finally got to a point where we had this beautiful 4-bed detached home and we made it. But life changes, and moving to Mallorca represents the next phase in our chapter, and we're leaving nothing behind in the UK. I've lived in this area for 37 years and I'm finally spreading my wings. Yeah, just anyone in the last few years just know that I'm extremely grateful for your commitment to us. I know it works both ways, but I'm always very grateful for where my feet are at. And right now, God, I'm in a great position.